1 year ago, my acne was at its lowest point it had ever been. I had a bunch of cysts on my forehead, bumps on my jawline, acne on my cheeks, and hyperpigmentation everywhere. I was in my senior year of high school, meaning that many of my core memories were overshadowed by my acne. On June 7th, 2023, the day after I graduated high school, I looked myself in the mirror and I told myself I needed to change something. I had been trying various skincare products and ingredients, and my skin had only declined more and more. With an entire summer ahead of me before I started college, I decided to take the risk and start my tretinoin journey. Wait, what is tretinoin and why would taking it be a risk? Tretinoin is basically a retinoid, so it increases the rate that we shed our skin cells, so we're able to replace impurities with healthy new skin cells. This might sound all good, but there's one issue. Tretinoin has a purging phase. This basically means that when tretinoin first starts working, it gets all the impurities and acne underneath the skin and exposes it to the surface of the skin. This will lead to a bunch of acne forming on the skin. So in short, your skin will get much worse before it even starts to get better. And this purging phase can last up to 2 months. An even bigger problem is that I had been using Differin for a few months before that. If you didn't know, Differin and tretinoin are both retinoids, so they're very similar. Think of Differin being the brother to tretinoin. This meant that I had already been through a purging phase with Differin, and so I would have to go through another one if I switched to tretinoin. Things were not looking good. Well, actually, it wasn't that bad. Within that first month of using tretinoin, my skin didn't really change that much. Maybe my acne only got slightly worse, but other than that, things were going on pretty smoothly, and this purging phase wouldn't be that bad, right? Well, no. During month 2, my skin got way worse. I think that this is genuinely the worst my skin had ever looked. I had a lot of post-inflammatory erythema and acne. Because my skin had gone so bad, I decided to cut out active ingredients from my skincare routine and focus more on hydrating my skin. And so I cut out things like salicylic acid and benzoyl peroxide, which I was using alongside the tretinoin. During the second month, I really considered quitting because my skin had just gotten way worse. But if I quit, that would mean that the last 2 months had been a complete waste of time. And so I continued back on with my tretinoin journey as I entered month 3. And finally, I saw light at the end of the tunnel. My skin finally started improving. I noticed that all the cystic acne that I had on my forehead was starting to disappear. I still had acne on my cheeks and jawline, but at least my forehead was clearing up. At this point, I decided to use a higher strength of tretinoin so that I could get quicker results. So I went from 0.025% to 0.05% tretinoin. When I made this switch, my skin actually ended up getting worse. It was probably because my skin could not tolerate this new strength of tretinoin, and so my skin became more inflamed and red. Within a month though, my skin was back to improving, and this time it was my cheeks that started clearing up. The acne on my cheeks were going away, as well as the hyperpigmentation and the post-acne marks that were there. Those were starting to fade away as well. Still though, I was struggling with my jawline acne as I had many bumps across my jawline and my neck. As I entered month 6, most of my acne was completely gone. I still got bumps here and there, but for the most part, I had cleared up my skin. I still did slightly struggle with jawline acne as I would get bumps occasionally there, but my neck acne was completely gone. I did notice though that I would occasionally still break out and get acne in certain areas, but that was mostly temporary as within a week the acne was usually gone. It was still pretty annoying whenever I got these breakouts, and so I increased my strength of my tretinoin from 0.05 to 0.1% strength. I made this switch entering month 7. Now my acne didn't get worse from making this switch, but I did notice that my skin got way more irritated. I actually could only use it twice a week because my skin would get super dry and irritated, especially around the nose. And this has never really happened to me before because when I was using the tretinoin 0.05%, I would use it every single night. At this point though, my results were slowing down. I mean, my skin was already pretty clear and I would only get occasional breakouts. Really, ever since month 9, my skin has basically been the same. I mean, I'm pretty young. I'm only 19 years old, so I can't really see the anti-aging benefits. I mean, I don't really have any wrinkles at all. But yeah, as you guys can see, skin is pretty clear. I mean, the tretinoin did wonders for my skin. And so now that you guys know about my timeline of usage of tretinoin, I want to share the pros and cons of using tretinoin, my tips for success, as well as the mistakes that I made during this journey of using tretinoin. Let's first talk about the pros of using tretinoin. As you guys could see throughout the timeline, using tretinoin really helped me clear up my acne and hyperpigmentation. I mean, there's also other things that tretinoin does, but when it comes to me personally, clearing up my acne and hyperpigmentation was definitely the primary driver of me using tretinoin. And even if I do get acne breakouts, using the tretinoin actually speeds up the process that I'm able to heal this acne and get rid of it basically. This is especially true with hyperpigmentation because I remember before using tretinoin, it would take me a very long time to clear up any post-acne marks. But now that I use tretinoin, those acne marks clear up so much quicker. Another pro is that I can keep my skincare routine very simple. Because tretinoin does so many things, like it has anti-aging properties, clears up acne, hyperpigmentation, it helps addresses acne scars. It does so many things. It basically does everything possible that you want. And because of this, you don't need to buy a bunch of different skincare products to address certain issues. You could just get tretinoin and it basically deals with them all at once. If I ever get an acne breakout, I don't need to use salicylic acid or benzoyl peroxide. I could just put on some tretinoin and it's very simple. Now when it comes to the cons, it does dry out your skin. Now I don't have sensitive skin by any means, but even I can't tolerate using tretinoin daily. Now I was able to tolerate tretinoin at lower strengths like 0.025 and 0.05% strength. However, when it comes to using the 0.1% strength tretinoin, I am not able to use this every single night. I only use this 4 to 5 times a week. Because if I used it every single day, my skin would get so irritated, it would get super red and my skin would start peeling. And so I just avoid this completely. And so if you have sensitive skin, tretinoin is probably not the best solution for your skin issues. You're probably better off using something like adapalene, which is not as stripping as tretinoin. Now let's talk about the mistakes I made when it comes to using tretinoin. When I first started using tretinoin, I used way too many stripping products. First of all, tretinoin itself is very stripping. And so you don't want to use any other active ingredients when you first start using tretinoin especially. I was using benzoyl peroxide and salicylic acid at the same time that I was using tretinoin. I would wash my face off with the benzoyl peroxide or salicylic acid cleanser. I'd moisturize my skin and then I would apply the tretinoin afterwards. And this is just way too stripping to the skin. And the biggest issue too is that I was doing this every single day. And so my skin definitely could not tolerate this. And if you combine this with the fact that your skin is already purging when you first start using tretinoin, it's just a recipe for disaster. You do not want to do this because your skin will get way worse. So just trust me and cut out any active ingredients that exfoliate the skin. Another mistake I made was using it way too frequently, especially when I bumped up the concentration of the tretinoin. And I especially noticed this when I went from 0.05 to 0.1 strength. I mean, my skin was so dry. I was peeling around my nose and around my lips. I don't know why, but when I first started using the 0.1% strength of tretinoin, I was trying to use it every day, but it just didn't work out. And even now, over 5 months later, I'm still not able to use the tretinoin every single day because the strength is just way too high. And so if you start using tretinoin, you guys want to be very careful because if you use it way too frequently, your skin will break out or your skin will start to peel. I would always just recommend start by using it once a week, then build up to twice a week, 3 times a week, and so on. A mistake that I recently realized is that I believe that I've been using way too many products in my skincare routine. I actually recently cut out using a proper cream moisturizer in my skincare routine and I feel like my skin has improved a decent amount. At nighttime when I use the tretinoin, all I do is apply a cream mist and then I apply aloe vera on top and then I wait 20 minutes and then I apply the tretinoin. And the tretinoin I use sort of has a cream-like texture, and so when I apply it, it already adds a little bit of moisture anyways, so I don't really need a moisturizer. And this hasn't affected me in a negative way because when I wake up, my skin isn't really peeling or dry. It's perfectly hydrated still. Now let's talk about my reasons for success when it comes to using the tretinoin. First of all, I was extremely patient with the usage of tretinoin. Like I said before, I wanted to quit tretinoin during month 2 when my skin was hitting rock bottom. But because I stayed consistent and patient and continued using the tretinoin, I mean, I have no regrets. My skin just completely transformed. So if you guys want to use tretinoin, you guys have to be very patient. You need to use it for at least 3 months before you make the decision of quitting or continuing. Another reason for my success is that I don't have sensitive skin, so my skin is able to tolerate the tretinoin. But if you guys do have sensitive skin, I would be very cautious if you want to use tretinoin. I also made sure to use a sunscreen every single morning because using a retinol in general can make your skin more photosensitive, so you just want to make sure that you're protecting yourself from those UV rays. And if you aren't protecting your skin every single morning, then the benefits of using a retinoid will actually get outweighed by the cons of the sun exposure. Another thing is that I made sure to use a lot of moisturizing products. And I just started off with my cleanser. I use the La Roche-Posay Hydrating Gentle Cleanser, and I prefer using hydrating cleansers over foaming cleansers because foaming cleansers can be very drying to the skin, especially if you're also using tretinoin. I also use this cream mist right here by Panthicell, and this adds extra hydration to the skin. I also use aloe vera. This is basically my moisturizer, but it's not really a real moisturizer. It still adds a good amount of hydration though. I also went to CVS to buy an Aquaphor dupe, and I basically apply this around the corners of my nose because that typically is where my skin gets dry. I also tend to use these moisturizing products before I apply the tretinoin, sort of as a buffer. I apply these products and then wait 20 minutes and then I apply the tretinoin afterwards. And the reason for this is that the tretinoin doesn't come in direct contact with the skin, and so your skin is less likely to dry out completely. Even though the tretinoin isn't that first layer when it comes to applying those skincare products, it still doesn't harm the effectiveness of the tretinoin. I also adapted a lot when it came to using tretinoin. For example, if I noticed that I woke up and my skin was looking very dry and it was peeling, then I would avoid using the tretinoin later that night just to give my skin some rest. Sometimes my skin would almost completely peel everywhere, including my cheeks, and so whenever that happened, I'd actually quit using the tretinoin for multiple days. This would just allow my skin barrier to repair before I started using the tretinoin again. Another tip for using tretinoin is that you want to be very careful when you upgrade the strength of the tretinoin because your skin might not tolerate it. You want to make sure that you've been using the tretinoin for at least 3 to 4 months before you upgrade the strength, or else your skin will just not handle it. I would also advise to use a low concentration of tretinoin. Start out with 0.025% and then build your way up. There are people that start off with 0.05% strength and they end up not getting good results because their skin just can't tolerate the strength of the tretinoin. It's sort of like a video game. When you first start a video game, you don't instantly fight the final boss. You have to work your way up there. And working your way up there will take some time. And that's basically been my journey. If you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments below or DM me on Instagram at choice.yt, and peace.